What's up guys, welcome to Blake's Garage. Today I'm gonna do a little review of this engine stand right here. I actually have one sitting right over here and I've had this one for I guess 2 years. I don't know if I've really showed this much, but I did rebuild the M20 out of the Birdie 30 M20 B25. Went ahead and did some stuff to, you know, clean it all up, and it looks really good. Even look at this. Oh my god, it's a shiny new oil pan. There's a problem, and that is there's an engine on this engine stand, and I got another engine. So I actually picked up another S52 off of my buddy Clint. This is from a 97, 98 BMW E36 M3. So the S means that it's an M motor. Basically, this engine has something going on with compression on it. It's, I think, possibly some bad rings, maybe. Hoping the head is good because I need the head. And we'll go into that project later on, but anyways, let's get down to what I'm talking about today. We need another engine stand, so I figured we'd kind of do a quick little unboxing of what is in this engine stand. So, also, there are a couple options from Harbor Freight. Yes, this is from Harbor Freight. There's, you know, a lot of things that I like from Harbor Freight. For example, this Daytona floor jack is great. This is the professional one. I think it's about $200 when you get it on sale. I'm really loving this US General 5-drawer rolling toolbox. That thing is really awesome. The engine crane here is a great little thing to pick up if you guys don't have one, you know, for picking out motors. This thing works absolutely awesome, and it folds up well too. But I always recommend kind of getting their more heavy duty stuff. So this is like the 2-ton one, and this is the 1,000-pound engine stand. I'll insert a little picture here of what the I think it's a 750-pound engine stand looks like. And basically what it is you only get one wheel on the front. I don't like that. I like 4 wheels. So it just balances out the motor. Also, one of the most important accessories I think to get is you gotta grab one of these oil trays. Check this thing out. It goes over the engine stand and it captures all your fluids. This is always the afterthought. You can see I have a bunch of junk in mine, some oil. I need to clean it out. I thought Harbor Freight had these. They do not. Harbor Freight needs to make these. I'll leave a link down to where you can pick these up below. I'm pretty sure I got that on Amazon or I got it on Jags, but it was right around $50. Highly recommended to keep your floor clean from oil like that. Which is why I need to get this thing off the engine stand and why I have cardboard down on the ground. Now for a quick word from today's video sponsor, Petrol Box. If you guys have not seen this bad boy Petrol Box, you gotta check it out. So today's video is sponsored by Petrol Box, and in today's Petrol Box we got a couple awesome items. We got some Meguiar's interior detailing wipes. Those will come in handy. As always, we got the little contents that it shows you. Everything that you can get here. And for this particular month, it looks like you could win a Fast and Furious Charger, which is pretty sweet. Also, you can be entered to win a set of rotiform wheels if you get the golden ticket. So that is pretty cool too. All right, we got a little theme here. We got Brian's little, what is this thing? This is a Eclipse. Why did I forget the name of it? Because those are horrible cars. Let's see here. Then we got the 30-piece tire tackle kit. This is really cool. This is a nice little handy thing to have in your car or have in your garage. You can repair some tires with that. Petrol Box air fresheners. The S3 magazine. This thing is a really nice magazine. It has a good feel to it. And I've gotten a few of these from these guys. Every once in a while. This is not an all the time thing, but you know, every once in a while you do get one of these S3 mags. Got a cool little Petrol Box pin. Another pin with, you know, Brian's logo, if you will, from the Eclipse, which is pretty cool. A little Fast and Furious theme. An absolute must, we got some Sour Patch candy. And it looks like this month we have a t-shirt. This is a Far From Stock t-shirt, little like Sugar Skull helmet type of thing. Pretty cool. So this shirt, Far From Stock in the front. Just so you guys know, how you get your sizing is you tell them when you sign up what size t-shirt you are and what size glove you are. Sometimes you'll get a hat, certain stuff like that. It's pretty dang cool. Also, we got the ride of the month right here, which I just put all of those on my toolbox. As you can see, they've been a long time sponsor of the channel. So I'll leave a link down to Petrol box down in the description. If you use my code WRENCHON, you get a discount at checkout. So thanks a lot for sponsoring the video, guys. Let's get back. This video is sponsored by Petrol box. We got this month's Petrol box right here. We'll go ahead and rip that guy open. Oh yeah, we got a sweet knife this week. Rev Thompson by Benchmade. This is that little dagger, you know, you can just spin it around. Anyways, let's get the box open. So Petrol box has been sponsoring the videos recently, so big shout out to these guys, and I wanted to show you guys what we get. Sometimes we get certain things. This month, oh my gosh, we've been getting a lot of t-shirts recently. This time it looks like we actually got a sweater, which I've never gotten a sweatshirt from them before. Zip up hoodie right here. Oh yeah, I like that. That's pretty awesome. Race, brake, fix. I think we can all relate to that if we're into cars. So that is very cool. Ooh, it looks like they're hooking us up with some more winter goods, because this is a winter Petrol box. We're getting a couple things here. Look at that. Drive, the little beanie. Very cool. Drive more. I like that with the little tassel on there. All right, cool. As always, they give you the little contents of the box right here. We got some quick detailer from Petrol box. Now, this is actually the first time I've seen any product labeled by them as far as a detailing product goes. Oh, and it looks like this one is a cinnamon flavor. Let's smell this out. Oh yeah, man, that's got some it's got some Christmas themes going on right there. Sticker here, this little rally car. I think that's a Lancia, I'm pretty sure. And then we got the Reader's Ride of the Month, or the Subscriber's Ride of the Month right here, which if you guys submit your ride, you could actually be one of these guys. We got the Lancia livery right here on this pen. So that is a really cool box this month. A sweatshirt in general usually costs a few bucks. So, you know, getting a sweatshirt like that is pretty cool. These are usually, I don't know, you know, $30 to $40 to $50 for a sweatshirt. And it's very soft. Yeah, actually very, very soft. So thanks a lot for sponsoring the video. Let's get back to it. This bad boy, I'm absolutely loving. Did a video on this recently. This little Milwaukee box cutter. So cool. Flips out super easy and has that screwdriver on the end. And a bottle opener. And you have blade storage and all the things you'd want in one of these little guys, which is really awesome. There's even extra blade storage that you can put up in here, which is crazy. But anyways, let's pop that open. And this is why we carry a box cutter or a knife. But like I said, I've been loving this thing for work, because it's not all the time I want to, you know, carry a $150 knife and you know, mess it up cutting up boxes, opening stuff, whatever, you know. And the replaceable blades on this are pretty cool, so that's kind of a nice deal. So this is what you get in the kit. Pretty straightforward. Few pieces of metal. How does the welding look? There's quite a bit of undercut on the top of this piece here. This is kind of the thing with Harbor Freight stuff. See that? That's undercut. Where the powder coating goes, just means, you know, they needed a little bit more filler metal in there. This weld actually looks to be okay. I always recommend, see, this is where it gets gross. I always recommend to inspect the welds on these things, because if it's bunk ass, like you think it's gonna break, go grab another one. You know, look at this weld. This is pretty gross. Quite a bit of porosity here at the back end. Not a lot of filler metal. Some undercut as well. And it looks like they hit this with a grinder, because, I don't know, third grader welded it or something. On this side, makes me feel a little bit better about the welds. They did grind them down, but not as much porosity in it. But, you know, it does look like, it looks like there's a bit of penetration. So that's the main thing we're looking for here. Here is the engine plate itself. This thing's cool. Looks nice and beefy. Weld on that looks to be, you know, similar. A little bit better. A little bit of undercut here on this one. Not a ton of filament metal here, but this area looks to be legit. Again, these are the pins for the wheels. You know, it looks like it's penetrated here, but they could have welded this better, obviously. Underneath, the welds look to be, you know, okay. They're all right. That's not gonna break. Shouldn't break right here. Not the greatest, but it should last. The welds on this particular piece, pretty bubblegum splattered on, but not as much undercut on that one. This weld actually looks to be okay on this area right here. It's like, I don't know, much that the machine said okay. And this one is not too shabby either. I mean, it's not great, but it looks better than most of the others. So overall, they give you a little hardware kit. Then you have the rolling casters. The wheels on these are metal. If you wanted to, you could put a bit of grease on these. I've never really had an issue with moving mine that's over there. It seems to roll just fine. It's pretty easy to move around, so that works out pretty well for me. All the little standoff pieces, these look actually to be welded up very good, so that's good. That's obviously an area that matters. There's quite a bit of stress that's put on that area, you know, when it's bolted to the backside of the engine with all that weight. But, you know, overall, it's Harbor Freight quality at best, which means it works, basically. You know, the things work. Something that I would recommend sometimes, if you guys are spinning over your motor a lot, you can grease up this area if you want to. You could grease it between here and here. It'll just make spinning the engine over a little bit easier. As far as the front ones go, it looks like they are just wheels that literally just go on this pin right here. So you can see in this area, you could grease the wheels up a bit too if you want. All right, so a quick little knolling session, not the best, but hey, kind of have all the bolts lined out, and now we can go ahead and put this thing together. Once you kind of get those, a little hole on this guy, this all goes through. Should have this little lock washer, this bolt here. For 18mm bolt on this one. So this one basically goes like this, and then we got the casters on the front. We're actually just showing you putting a washer underneath. No washer on the top, so for a washer in both spots, but hey, if you're not gonna give me one, I guess we won't put one on, right? I'm not gonna run to the hardware store to grab one. It'll be fine. Kind of surprised these don't have lock washers, but am I the only person that puts on a washer, by the way, in one direction? Like, I feel like washers are one way. Like, that's the way, like, the bolt would come out, and then I'd put the nut here. If I have a washer that looks like this, or it's like the punched out side, I say that's backwards. Am I weird? Let me know down in the comments. I always do that. I feel like it's just an attention to detail thing. I do the same thing with nuts too. You see the little stamped writing right there on the nut? And then you see how this side doesn't have stamped writing? I don't know, I always leave the stamped writing out to where you can like see it. Maybe it's just me, I don't know. Does anybody else pay attention to that when you put stuff together? Let me know down in the comments. 17mm bolt and nut. Good to go. Then on the actual casters themselves, looks like they're only giving you one washer. Like, again, I like to keep the washer honestly on both sides, just the regular, you know, the regular washer. And they put the lock washer after that, then the nut. So we'll do all 4 of those guys and get them cinched down. It's kind of funny, like, it's like some of the Harbor Freight stuff, you know, they just skimp on some of the hardware, like where you would just think they'd have an extra washer, they don't. That's what you get, I guess, with China engineered things. These aren't German engineered products or anything like that. You know, they come at a pretty inexpensive price, and it is nice. It's nice to be able to go to a place and, you know, have something that works, and this will work for years to come, and, you know, just be able to throw it together real quick. It's kind of cool. I think these are all 13 mils. Yep. Now it comes down to this little caster. I got some $13 fill wood, very expensive grease that I'm throwing on here. This is actually for bicycle hubs and stuff like that, but Hey, come on. We'll give her a little bit of grease to, you know, get it spinning good. I don't know. Kind of, you know, keep it greased up. Oh yeah, look at that. And then we get the washer and a little lock ring on it. Give her a little tap. Looks good. Look at that. It actually rolls because I greased it up. Let's try the other one real quick without greasing it up. I just want to see the difference here. So it rolls, but I'll tell you what, that grease over time is gonna make a difference, so you might as well just grab a bit of grease if you got some and lube the thing up. Probably putting it all around is gonna be a lot better. So that was the before spin. Let's see. There's the after. Nice and smooth, right? Much better. Now we can flip the engine stand over.
It's my bird, man. I'm just hanging out, man. Yeah, it's cold, man. I'm just a cold man. It's my bird and I'm a cold man. Yes, 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 I'm a cold guy. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Little guy here is looking a little angry. But you got the pin. You can go ahead and put that in the top here so this doesn't rotate when you put your engine on. That's basically how you rotate the motor itself along with the stick, which gives you a little bit of leverage. I will say, you did want to get a longer rod to put in the back of this area over here. Not a bad idea, honestly, not a bad idea. Look guys, these bolts, I wish they came with a washer, and I wish they came with a lock washer. I don't know why they don't, honestly. Again, this is kind of just where like Harbor Freight saves some money. They're telling you to install it like this. The lack of two washers here is kind of weird. It's whatever. Obviously the bolt's not gonna break or anything like that, but to me, I would assume you'd put a washer on the front, possibly a lock washer back here and whatever, so yeah. It is what it is. I always recommend when purchasing any of this Harbor Freight stuff, always get the more heavy duty. And by that I mean, you know, sometimes they'll have weight limits on stuff and it's a little bit more money for the higher tonnage or poundage, whatever. I don't know if poundage is a word, but maybe. I can think of one spot where that would be used. A little bit of poundage. But it's just always kind of just a good safety net. It's like, you know, if your engine's 600 pounds, you buy the 750 pound one. I'd rather buy the 1,000 pound rated one, as we're closer to that number, which is, you know, which is good. The last little thing is sliding the handle through, and we'll notice here there is a spot for that cotter pin if you're wondering where that cotter pin goes. So you know, that kind of stays on there. Now what I was saying, if you do want to get more of leverage or more fulcrum off of this, you know, if you have any other tools chilling laying around that may have a larger bar, like for example, it's on my engine stand, you know, if you're gonna turn it over by yourself, grab something that's gonna give you a little bit more leverage. It's not a bad idea. The thing will come over pretty damn quickly, you know, once you get past that tipping point when you have the heads on the engine. So just something to think about. Like, it's kind of obvious. If you could do it with two people, great, but I know I've pulled out a lot by myself without any friends, and you know, you can do it. You don't always need a second person. You're gonna do it a little bit slower and be a little more cautious in the process. When you actually bolt this on and when we transfer it over, I have to pick up some bolts, so I'll probably do that tomorrow. And then you guys will see the rest of the video where we're obviously mounting this up. So here's the little thing, right? Some engine stands have issues with it getting in between the actual hoist or crane itself, right? The engine hoist. Sometimes you have a problem spanning in between. This one does not, you know, if you're facing this way, so you just have to make sure, you know, your engine is spaced out correctly. It'll go in, so you guys know, you know, pretty dang far. It'll go farther than that, but obviously I'm hitting the engine, so we're not gonna have that issue there. However, I always recommend, really, to pull this little piece off, right? Just pull this off, bolt it to the back side of the engine, get that going, pick the engine all the way up, higher, and then just slip this on. That's the easy way to do it. I know sometimes people like try to line that up with this and like get it going, and it's like, no, that's gonna take forever. Don't do it like that. That's, you know, you'll learn that the first time you do it. If you just take this off, bolt it to the back of the motor, slip it in, put the pin in, good to go. It's much quicker like that. Basically the tools that I use then, 17 millimeter, 13 millimeter, and a 13 millimeter socket. So, you know, socket and a wrench in both those sizes, 17 and 13. If you guys are rebuilding a motor or putting it on the car, you guys should have that, but just so you know, what you have to grab, that's what you're gonna grab. So I'm back at it and I have the proper size bolts. So I went with an M12 bolt for this particular engine. This is 80 millimeters long and it's a 1.75 thread pitch. So if you guys are looking for what you're gonna use in the back of a BMW engine, these are the bolts that are gonna work for you. Obviously, you need them to extend out past this. This is a BMW S52, but like all M50s, M52s, S52s, and S50s, it is gonna use the M12 at a 1.75 thread pitch, and 80 millimeters should do you. So, you know, I'll be able to get this thing in and tightened up, but let's go ahead and get it done. This is the easiest way to do it, is pretty much grab your bolts, make sure most of the stuff is sort of loose, and just put everything in here kind of finger tight. If most of these little areas are kind of somewhat finger tight, you should be able to maneuver this little stand piece and get these things all started. And then you can kind of center it up and really get them torqued down. Like I'm saying, for me, this was kind of the sort of easiest setup. So then you can leave this sort of loose. I kind of like to get it even with the crankshaft on the engine. Stand, if possible. Send all these down. Pretty good right there. And this is the trick to the engine stand. I mean, if you have it high enough, great, but just jack it up a little bit higher. Then you can just grab the engine stand from the ground and just slip it right over. Throw your pin in it. Also, you can rotate it if you want a certain way. I want this thing a little bit more like this, so pick this up a little bit, throw it in there. When I set the engine down, now I can just kind of play with this and set it down properly. Boom. Should be chill. Kind of see how I use that to my advantage. I could basically rotate the engine kind of how I wanted to at first and get it sitting how I like. So that is great. I do usually put the plate like long ways, but for whatever reason when I was doing this, that just seemed to work out pretty good. One thing you will notice though is my handle is now upright, which I don't really know if I love that. I may end up swapping this to the side. I don't really know. This might work okay, because honestly, like, the thing gets really heavy when it gets to this 90-degree angle. So this might actually help me out with leverage once I get past this part, because my handle's gonna be like here. I don't usually have issues kind of maneuvering the engine when I'm at this particular position. Like if I need to move it a little bit right here and here, it's not that big of a deal. But like I said, when I get kind of down to that other spot, that's where I seem to have more issue. Move this forward a bit. Boom. All right, but yeah, guys, that's pretty much the engine on the engine stand. So that's the setup. It does make it easier, right, when the handle's kind of like this to maneuver it. Pretty stable, not too shabby. I can move it around if I'd like to. Obviously not on the cardboard makes it a little bit easier to move than it being on the cardboard on the floor. But with this setup, overall, I like the way these little stands work. They work out pretty good. So you can see I'm already getting oil on the ground. You see that? Got oil on the ground, and it comes from different places every time you rotate the engine a little bit. So that's where I'm saying you guys are gonna want that little plastic thing. That is the #1 accessory to buy for this. Make sure to grab one of these pans. Like I said, I'll leave a link down below for that. It's an absolute must. If you see, you already get oil on the ground. Anytime you rotate the engine in any way, fluids love to come out, and this thing really just helps pick them up. So anyways, guys, I hope you liked the video. Make sure to subscribe if you have not. I have more videos every week, so yeah, just let me know. Got a bunch of content. Later, guys, and wrench on.